Hi, welcome to Real Conversations. I'm one of your hosts, Nicole Jones,
And I'm Connor Terry.
and we would like to thank you guys for joining us here tonight. Hey, Connor, what's going on, girl? How you doing over there? You looking all beautiful and stuff. Look at you, glowing and shit.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Nicole. You too. It was a good day. It's a nice, easy day. I felt like I'm not dressing up. I'm not doing anything. I'm just going to chill out. I'm gonna be in my little, I call it my snuggie, and just kind of be comfortable because it's something that I wanted to do. How about you? What you did today?
Well, today was a laid back day for me. I was off. Thank you, Jesus.
Ooh, nice, nice.
We
I love
really
off days.
love the off days.
Hmm.
I went grocery shopping, girl. I like going grocery shopping by myself because when you take someone with you, you end up getting other stuff. You know how this go. You know, you go in, get what you gotta get, and get on out.
Yeah, yeah.
We went to two stores, and then we ain't got some Taco Bells for dinner. How you get all this food and you want to eat Taco Bell? And I don't even eat Taco Bell. I haven't eaten Taco Bells in so long.
Because you're tired from food shopping. So, and when you get home, you're like, I don't want to cook nothing. All right, let me do this. But that's why you do not, like you say, go to the supermarket hungry. Because then you end up saying, oh, I need this, I need that, I need this. And you really don't. And then if you have children, which in your case you do, they can if they come with you to the grocery store, that's even more money that you're spending. So it's like, wait a minute now. I didn't expect to do all of this. It's crazy. But did you get everything you needed?
I got a lot of stuff that I needed because everyone knows that I just moved. So there are still things that we are getting, to make this house complete. Um, but I got some things that I didn't need to. But we got a college student coming home, so we want to fill up everything, make sure she's comfortable. She'll be here tomorrow. So
Oh, nice, nice.
yeah, so that's it. Like, my day was really laid back. I enjoyed my day. I
Yeah,
enjoyed my day off. I even enjoyed shopping, even though I just complained about a kid who's actually an adult, but he's still my kid who went with me. But
yeah.
yeah, because he eats clean. But how do you eat clean when you want Taco Bells?
He has a cheat meal, maybe. I don't know. I'm trying to I'm trying to help the brother out. Maybe he's a cheat meal. We all entitled to one of those.
Yes, you are absolutely right,
So
Shaquana. So I'm gonna leave him alone, okay?
yes, leave him alone. Oh God. So what we talking about today?
So everybody know that there are so many things that Trump has done since he's been put in office or whatever the case may be, since he took that seat. Boy oh boy. I know we speak about this man a lot, but he is basically current events now. Okay, so sorry if you guys don't want to hear about this, so you guys can like fast forward it. If you're watching this on a playback, and then
Hmm.
get to the real the relationship stuff that we always talk about.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
no,
Hmm.
but so far there's a representative by the name Sherry. What's his last name? Danadar. Did I say it right?
Three
Danadar.
Danador. Okay.
Okay. He filed several articles of impeachment against Trump. He's accusing him of tyranny, bribery, and abuse of power, and unlawful moves with Elon Musk. I'm sorry, I was a little choppy there, guys. What's your thoughts on that?
I mean, it was only a matter of time. Remember, Trump was impeached twice already. Once in 2016, I think, and once in 2020. I believe. You don't quote me on that. Do your own research. But it was only a matter of time because everything that he's doing, a lot of the stuff that he's putting out there or even implementing, you know, some of that stuff needs to go through Congress for approval, and he's like completely bypassing Congress and it's like, okay, I'm the president, I can do what I want. And that's just not how that goes. And a lot of people are, you know, they're complaining, but no one wants to really take that initiative or take that first step to say, you know what, this man has got to go. And kudos to Shri for actually taking that into his own hands and saying, you know what, no, let me be the first to file this. And I believe he is out of Michigan, I think Detroit or something like that. So kudos to him for even, you know, taking that to his own hand, because I know that he's going to get some pushback. I know that which President Trump is going to probably address him personally on TV. You know how he does. He tries to chew people out when they oppose him. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. But I think that it's going to be one of many. And as soon as everybody grows some cojones, you know, there'll be more people doing it. So,
I mean, I agree. Out of all the things that he's put in place so far, all the things that he's done, I'm shocked that it's gone thus far.
Yeah,
like, it doesn't make any sense, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like you said, abuse of power. It's also it's teetering on a dictatorship as opposed to a democracy, and this is not what the United States of America is all about. So he's really, you know, treading a fine line.
I remember a time when they were saying that he reminded them of Hitler. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Yes,
like, oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a bad time. So, like, why are you trying to emulate what this man, what Hitler's done? Like, that's just ridiculous.
Yeah, you know, he wants to be a martyr. That's what he wants to be a martyr. But I do know that, like, you know, with him undermining Congress, and you know, there's certain money and certain things that are allocated for different departments that Congress has already approved, and with him just overstepping them and saying, you know what, y'all not getting nothing. You know, I'm making all these cuts. I think he's talking about like a skinny budget or something like that, where he makes cuts to, you know, the federal housing grants and vouchers and things of that nature. And it's like, sir, where's this coming from? And I understand the cuts, but understand that the backfire to that is more people in shelters, more people, you know, homeless, you know, more people living out of their cars or whatever else. So instead of you fixing the issue, you are adding to it. And I don't know, it just seems a little bit counterproductive to me.
And I'm glad you brought that up, because that was actually the next current events that I was going to bring up, about Trump trying to cut Section 8. I know we spoke about this previously, but it's becoming a real serious situation, because he's talking about cutting $26 billion in funding. And that's crazy, because all that means is there's going to be a lot of people that's going to be homeless, and there's going to be shelters that are going to be you know, there's not going to be any spots for these people to go. So where they're going to go from there?
Well, I think the one thing that I did see was that while it's going to be like we consider it the skinny budget, right? Whatever is allocated from the federal government, I believe they're going to put them in the hands of the state. Those funds will go down and be allocated to the state level, and then the state has to now divvy up those funds the way that they need to divvy it up. So the federal
I don't think that's a good idea, because the only reason why I said that is because we already had a problem with that. That's the reason why the federal government took over it.
Exactly. But he's like, you know what? No, we're going back to what it used to be, and let these states handle these funds and put it in the right places. So now the onus is on the state. You got this money, Now you have to allocate it correctly. So it's going to be interesting to see how much corruption will be going around more so than now, where because it's going to be at a state level. We already can't trust governors and state reps and stuff like that that misappropriate or are what, I don't even know the word, like they're just not honest, right? Just for the lack of a better word, they're not honest, and the integrity that they have, there we go, the integrity is not there, so they don't operate from a place of integrity. This is going to be interesting to see how this blowback is, because I can guarantee there will be a blowback.
Absolutely. All right. So last and but not least, the last one about Donald Trump we're going to speak about today is he announces that anybody who produces a movie out of the United States, he's going to impose 100% tariff on these movies. I think that's ridiculous. Kwana, Shaquana, what is your thoughts on this?
I mean, it's a for me, it's a good tactic. Like, all right, I'm gonna place 100% tariff on this movie if you make it overseas. This is an incentive to keep it within America, to keep the budget within America. But the problem with that is movies are more expensive to make in the United States. Movies are the scenery. There's certain places you can go to overseas that have a picturesque,
Yes.
a picturesque background that
Mhm.
aren't that much. These countries aren't charging that much to shoot in certain areas. So for him to kind of force Tinseltown to keep the money over here, I get it. I understand the logic. Is it realistic? No, because it will increase the movie budget, right? It'll increase what it costs um to make a movie, and that trickles down to us and our popcorn and our movie ticket prices. So it's like, come on. And then Netflix is going up because they can't. I listen, child. It's going to
Netflix,
just
Hulu, Disney, they all going
everything is
up.
going to go up, and it's like, sir, is my paycheck going up? Like, what are we doing here? You know? So yeah, it's a it's a great plan, but just not well thought out of. Not well thought out. You got to think about all the ins and outs of it and what it will harm, because like I told you before, everything that he's doing causes a domino effect. Everything is interconnected. It's one thing here, and then everything else falls. You
Mm-hmm.
know. So I don't know, but he's got to get it together because he's not understanding. You're not making a decision for Trump International. You're making a decision for the United States of America,
Boom.
that there are
That
so
part.
many moving parts for, that you're going to be affecting millions and billions of people. No, I don't think he's thinking in that specific realm of things. So we'll see. Well, enough about Trump and his shenanigans, and his impulsive decisions. Enough about that. Let's go into the topic of the day. We're going to talk about just relationship strongholds, and I think that's a real issue in a lot of relationships. A lot of relationships aren't as healthy as they should be because we're holding on to so many different things, or there are things that prevent us from moving forward in, I would say, a new relationship, or getting in a relationship and then not having the sense of intimacy or the communication that you need to have in order to foster a healthy relationship. Nicole, what do you think about that?
Uh, I think that people should have healthy healthy relationships, right? In order to have these healthy relationships, you got to get out of these recurring patterns that are occurred in these type of situations, you know. And a stronghold, from my understanding, is a mindset that exerts a strong influence on the individual's thoughts. And what what's another one? Someone, if someone feels that their beliefs is what it is, they try to like put it up on you, like, and let it be what it is. Right? Is that what it is? Am I right or
Yeah.
am I wrong?
You mean like impose your belief or on that person, or push your belief system on that person?
Yes.
Um I feel like, yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. I feel like that's where the communication comes in, because if we're getting in this relationship, we both have to be on the same page,
Hmm.
physically, spiritually, romantically. We have to be on the same page, and those conversations need to be had, because what if we want to raise a family and we're not in agreement off of how to handle certain situations? We're going to continuously bump heads. So that's a good one. Another one would be being hurt in past relationships and bringing that hurt into the new relationship, and
Hmm.
not realizing that, hey, this person is not your ex. um they're not the same person. This is not the same situation, and you can't lump everybody in one category and handle every relationship the same. A lot of people go through that, and it's like, well, I went through this already with my ex. I don't want to do this again. Yeah, but that person is not your ex, and you have to open up your heart more. And I think that's another one. Not being open to receive
Hmm.
love, not being open to reciprocity. That's a big one. You know.
Yeah. I think the way that they can break these patterns is by going to like therapy. You know,
Yeah.
a therapist can help them identify what the issue is, and then bring them through.
Yeah, for sure. The biggest part of therapy, though, even before that, is acknowledging that you
You
have
need to
that
go.
issue, because
Yeah.
you're not going to therapy if you don't think that you don't have an issue, right? So it's
Right.
acknowledging, like, okay, there's something that I'm doing, or there's something that I may not see within myself, and i.e. having that self-awareness to say, okay, what is it that's going on? Why do I keep ending up in these relationships, with it ending the same way? Because if it
Hmm.
ends the same way with different people, who's the common denominator, right?
Hmm. Right.
So it's really being more self-aware to say, what am I doing that can hinder this, or that is hindering me from having a successful relationship?
So I'm gonna take it a little spiritual real quick, okay? Because I heard something today and it
Mhm.
stuck with me. It stuck, in my head.
Okay.
So from what you just said, I'm piggybacking off of what you just said, right?
Okay.
So this lady said, so as women and men, we go because it goes both ways. But when a woman, when we sit there and have intercourse with a man unprotected, and we allow the man to ejaculate inside of us, all those little spirits, all those little attachments that person has, just attach themselves to you, and a piece of your soul is with that person. And then when you move on, let's say you guys break up and y'all move on, you're wondering why when you come and you have another relationship, or many relationships, they never work out, because a piece of your soul is back with all whoever it is that you've been with. Those of you that you slept with unprotected, and you let them ejaculate inside of you. And I was like, that was a little crazy, because that's also part of, it falls into the same category, because it falls into the I'm sorry guys, I'm not as prepared as Shaquana today, so please forgive me.
Okay.
But
You sound fine to
if
me.
it falls, huh?
I said, you sound fine to me.
Oh. But it falls into the same category in regards to negative behaviors and patterns and thinking and being able to break free from these type of relationships or whatever the case may be,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
wondering why things keep is repetitive. When you moved away from certain situations. Um,
yeah,
that's it.
yeah. I mean, you're absolutely right. Oh, I think that once you realize that this life, everything is spiritual.
Mm-hmm.
Everything. We're human beings having a um spiritual
Which
experience.
moment?
I mean, we're
Yeah.
spiritual beings having a human experience.
Mm-hmm.
So if we realize, if we approach it from the spiritual side of it, we would know not to lay down with 3,000 people. We would know to keep our body count low, because of all the parasites that we may pick up along the way. We would know that. Now when we aren't aware of certain things, and I get it, we operate out of that space. But
Mm-hmm.
once you know, and you can never go back.
Mm-hmm.
You can never go back. And it's important for us to keep our sexual health, and spiritual health clean, or as pure as we can. And not allowing certain things to latch onto us,
Mm-hmm.
because there's some strongholds. There's some things that it will take lifetimes for us to get rid of, because we're not strong enough to fight them. We're not
Mm-hmm.
strong enough to remove those things from our lives. And we're trying to figure out, like you said, why we are in constant rotation with the same type of issues in relationships. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
wait a minute, what happened? What's going on? And you hear a lot of people say, I'm a good person.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, think about who you was hunching on
Mm-hmm.
in 1992, and let me know if you're still talking to that person. Okay.
No, you
And
don't have to be
if
talking to that person. It could just be the
exactly,
attachment
but
that happened.
it's an attachment, yes. But my
Yeah.
thing is this: it's like understanding too is like, especially if you come from like a neighborhood like ours, right? You
Mm-hmm.
know, many people have shared, boom, 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 boom. Now you got all of these attachments to people,
Mm-hmm.
men and women, that you don't even know you're carrying. Until you become that person that says, okay, okay, let me do this work. What's going on? Why is this happening? You ask your questions, and then you do the work to make sure that these ties are cut, cords are cut, however people want to say it, that these ties are severed, and that you become you again, and then you're starting over. And hopefully you don't fall back in the same traps. That hopefully you understand now what to look for in relationships and partnerships in general. So,
Mm-hmm.
but strongholds are real. They will keep you down if you let them. Um, they create, you know, generational curses. Coming from,
That
you
part.
know, a family that maybe my mom and dad had to do certain things, or and then those that everything is passed down to me and to my sisters and to my brother, and not all of us are strong enough to handle that. And then so if I don't stop it, that means it's passing down to my kids, and
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, wait, where does the buck stop? You know?
Right.
So yeah, it's definitely important to identify the strongholds and do what you can to release them, address them, and release them if need be. So yeah, and that's I think
Identifying them is very important. Knowing what it is that you're dealing with. Knowing if you're the one that's creating the issue, like try to like help yourself get out of that. It's diabolical. Situation. You want to get out of
yeah,
that. Right.
yeah, and like you said, knowing when it's you that's doing it, taking that accountability for
Mm-hmm.
your actions, because you not taking accountability for your actions is also a toxic trait as well. Right? Because like, how do you expect to heal if you don't take accountability? It's not always somebody else's fault.
Ooh, child. That's
So
a
how do you expect?
whole
You know,
nother
it's like,
conversation. People taking accountability. Stop pointing the fingers. Oh
yeah,
my
yeah,
goodness. So many
yeah.
people do that. It's so annoying. And then when you're sitting up there and you're dealing with a person like that, girl, when I say we just sit there and just be quiet, because we already know what we know. We
Yeah,
don't
that's true.
care if you feel that we did something. We know what we didn't do.
So that's the reason why I like to be clear on in situations. I never like to leave anything unsaid or in a state of confusion, right? Because communication is what we need to kind of move forward. And if we're unclear about where we are, where we stand, whether it be an argument, whether it be in a conversation, it's never gonna go forward. It's never gonna move forward. So
Mm.
I don't know, child. I just I just feel like we have to make sure that whatever we are doing in relationships, um, that we think about we can think about the past and what we used to do, but don't take it into the future, right? Put it
Yes.
into use it as a stepping stone, as a learning opportunity, right? A
Mm-hmm.
learning opportunity. And I feel like if there's a person that wants to build with you and you build with them, you're both growing and you equally want to understand each other and figure out how you both can move forward if that's the intent. So
I
what you think,
totally agree
Michelle?
with that right there.
Yeah.
Deal with your past traumas before, getting into something else. Definitely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. Oh my gosh, that's so deep.
Mm-hmm.
Some people jump in a relationship to run away from the past trauma, but they're not realizing they
Mm-hmm.
just taking it on. Like the Erica Badu song,
Badu.
"Bad Lady." Like she tells you like you got too much stuff. You can't hurry
Mm-hmm.
up because you got too much stuff, and it's so true. We carry so much baggage from one relation to the next. No, release it, and I'm guilty of doing that too. Guilty of carrying so much baggage and carrying hurts and traumas and stuff like that. But it's like, you know what? When you release it, it feels so good.
I mean, it's you carrying it until you realize what the issue is, and then, like you said, once you release it,
Mhm.
it is such a better world to be in,
Yes.
and your mind is so calm. Okay, you don't have to worry about any of that extra stuff. And like like Quana mentioned earlier, it's a stepping stone. You sit up there and you deal with it, and then you're able to know, you're able to dissect, you know, going forward. You know what you will deal with and what you won't deal with, or what you need to fix within yourself, so you won't have to, bring it on to someone else.
For sure. For
So
sure. So, it definitely is something that you had to work on. And, but it takes some time. All I will say is when you are working on it, when you're going through it, it's going to be tough because there are going to be some things that are going to be revealed about yourself, especially if you're doing the real work. There's going to be some things that are revealed about yourself that you may not like, and it's going to look ugly. It's going to look ugly, right? And you have to just say, you know what, this is for my good, this is for my growth, and you push forth, you push past it. And I promise you, like, it's beautiful on the other side. It's beautiful, and that's not to say you're done, because there's always going to be things that you're going to be working on that you have to work on. But for the most part, like the hardest part is acknowledging and realizing, like, okay, I'm a messed up individual. Okay, like I've done some stuff that aren't that great. Like, so how do I address this, change it, and then move forward? So
on the other note, you don't have to be a messed up individual to have these issues. It could be something that was bestowed upon you. So you also have to understand, what it is that you're not going to deal with. And to deal with that, you have to have these boundaries, right?
yeah,
There's boundaries to be put in place so you won't be you know, have issues like that put on you. You know when the hey, back up. It wasn't me. Let's start over here. Calm down or whatever the situation is.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. You know, and the language that you use depends upon your partner because,
Mhm.
you know, some something that I think is not offensive, they may think that it's offensive, and then you got a whole situation on your hand, right? So make sure that you're communicating effectively and clearly, so that both of you are on the same page. So,
Well, to piggyback off what you just said,
hmm
you can say what you want to say. It's just the tone that you set when you say
hmm
it. You don't have to sugarcoat what needs to be said. It's just how you say it. So that person can understand where you're coming from and don't feel like they're being attacked.
hmm yeah, for sure, for sure. Well, thank you so much for watching Real Conversation. Again, I'm your host, Quana Terry.
And I'm your host, Nicole Jones.
All right. And you
And
can find us here every Thursday night on YouTube at real underscore convos underscore podcast. We're here at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube. Nicole, where else can they find us? And if they want to email us, let them know where they can do that as well.
we're also on Instagram and I think it was at TikTok at the same real underscore combos underscore podcast. And then on Facebook, we're at Real Conversations. And the email is real underscore combos underscore podcast at gmail.com. If you
Okay.
have any questions that you want to send us, any topics that you feel that you would like for us to touch on, just send those questions over there and the topics. Okay, we appreciate you guys. Thank you. We love you guys. We appreciate every last one of you guys who's been with us from the beginning of time, and those of you who are new here. Subscribe to our channel, and thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, and God bless.